And so we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to BWTM Sports Online. Had to take a couple of days rest. It's been quite maniatic here quite busy here at BWTM. Lots of crazy things have been happening. Lots of huge announcements to make for the channel. For you, the supporters who have been with us for a while, we got something really big to announce. It's massive. We're talking massive. We're talking legacy. We're talking about exclusive. We're talking about breaking. We're talking about owning the whole shit. That's what we got coming up for you on BWTM Sports, the whole network. So we're really excited. It's all very closed behind closed doors. What's been going on at the moment? We have got a massive announcement for you, really massive. And if you remember, years ago we used to call it Bayloric TV. If you remember, it used to be called Bringing the World Closer to You, and that's as much as I can say about it at the moment. We've got a massive thing to talk to you about, and I will share with you very shortly. Maybe not tonight, but very shortly. We just want a few more things to go through, and then we can announce the whole deal and the whole package and the whole shebang to you. I am so excited about the whole thing. I really am. Okay, so without further ado, Mr. Johnny Nelson. Good evening, Gypsy boxers. Good evening, Chris Greenwood. Ingram's thinking now, LOL. Agree, should not be happening yet. Great, Mr. Sowland. Hello, Ingram. Hello, Johnny. Have you blocked Callie Sowland for racism? No, I haven't. Should I? I don't know. I've been off the planet for a couple of days. I've had to rest. Okay. For those of you who have followed, and I know for one who's in the room, definitely core 2971. This is why I'm going to need people to be completely honest with me. I need people to have a pretty good memory, because I swear the things I'm saying are all coming to pass with regarding this man, Tyson Fury. So if I can have a show of hands of people in there who have been on the channel regularly for since 2017, because that's since 2015. I need a show of hands for that. EJ Boxing Live, brother, good seeing the room. It's a shame I didn't get to see you down at IQ Boxing Academy. I'll be passing through there again soon, brother. And when I do, of course, we'll link up as always and have a chat. Okay, so I'm going to start this conversation way back. I'm going to take you way back to when Tyson Fury was meant to fight David Haye for the first time. And I said to you all that David Haye, the fight was postponed. It was postponed, and Haye got nick over the eye. And I said at the time, I think in that sparring session with him and Deontay Wilder, I said I think Deontay Wilder may have KO'd him or hurt him badly, so therefore the fight couldn't go ahead. Well, and then when those stories came out, been here for about 2 to 3 years. Okay, yeah, call 229. How comes you're out of sync? I shouldn't be out of sync. Am I out of sync? I shouldn't be out of sync. I shouldn't be out of sync. Let me check this a second. Somebody's saying I'm out of sync. That could be just a... Let me just check something here. Because if I'm out of sync, I won't stop talking. This conversation way back. I'm going to take you way back to when Tyson Fury... No, I'm in sync. I'm in sync. Somebody's talking rubbish. So, going way back to 2015, it talked about Fury and the Haye fight, and I said that fight would not go ahead. I said the second fight, when they were going to rearrange the fight, I said that fight would not go ahead. Do you remember me saying that to you all? And people were on this channel dogging me out, telling me I was talking shit, blah, blah, blah. A lot of these people, these cats, most of them never admit when they're right, they're wrong, but are very quick to tell me when I'm wrong. So they never most of them don't give me credit for when I say these things. Now I'm going to spool forward to 2000, and when Fury fought Klitschko, I said he would beat Klitschko. I said he'd beat Klitschko because he'd get inside of Klitschko's mind and they'd have a perfect game plan for it with Peter Fury in the corner. I told you that. I see you're out of sync. Why am I out of sync? Why people keep saying I'm out of sync? Only by a little bit. I don't know why that's happening. Let me see what I can do there, because I don't know why people are saying I'm out of sync. I shouldn't be out of sync. I should be in sync. In sync. Hold on. Let me see what I can do here a second. Oh, I know. I think I know what's happened here. Right. Let's try that. See if that works. Yeah, that might be Google, but I think, yeah, okay. It might not be me. It might be Google itself. But anyway. Okay, let me check this here. See? Yeah, so I backed. I don't know what's going on with Google, but we're gonna push and hope Google sorts itself out. But anyway, 2015, like I said before, and 2015 predicted Fury would beat Klitschko. He beats Klitschko. Against the odds, he beats Klitschko in Germany. Okay. Then we had the situation where I did the video, go back and check the video. I said, vacate your belts. I met Fury about 2 weeks before they were talking about him vacating the IBF belt being taken off him. And I looked at the situation and said, you know what, brother, if I'm you, I vacate all those belts and I keep the linear championship of the world or the Ring Magazine belt and I defend that belt and show myself to be, I don't need belts. I've got the Ring Magazine. I'm considered numero uno and beat the other guys out there. I said for Tyson to do this. Again, same people come out. You're talking crap. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're saying. Blah, 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 blah. And what ends up happening? Fury ends up vacating the belts. He's now linear. He's got a linear championship belt or whatever it means now. And I don't say that disrespectfully because, you know, your first defense of the title is against the cruiserweight, but let's not go there. I then said, people said, oh, Fury back in 2017. I said, Tyson Fury is not coming back to boxing 2017. I said this. Did it happen? He didn't box in 2017. I said 2018. I said, remember my words when Eddie Hearn was floating around. Remember? Eddie Hearn was floating around at the time and people saying Tyson was going to sign with Eddie Hearn. And around that time, Tyson moved camps from Peter Fury to Ben Davison. And I said to people, this is a break from Peter Fury. I don't believe, in my personal opinion, that Tyson would train with somebody else to come back and train with Peter Fury. I said, I think this guy, Ben Davison, is going to be his trainer. And if it doesn't end being Ben Davison, it gets shifted over to Dominic Ingle. The Dominic Ingle move hasn't happened yet, but he's with Ben Davidson. Did I not say that? Okay. Azzy tonight, sorry, mate. I have absolutely no tolerance for bullshit tonight, as you have been a pain in my side for so long. But tonight, yeah, you need to just tonight, Azzy. For me, not tonight. Right. So, and when I said, and somebody's been coming here trying to tell me something, trying to pick holes at the moment. I'm talking about the journey. Now, I mentioned about the Chisora thing with Fury, and the reason why I said that was because I think Fury still has a problem against guys who are shorter than him with the overhand right. What he did, he turned southpaw and if you go back and listen to the interview before he fought the Chisora fight, he says, "I've got something planned for you. I've got something for you special for you." He does. He turns southpaw. He beats Chisora. For me, career best performance at the time before he fought Klitschko. Masterful performance by Fury. And I said to him afterwards, that was a masterful performance. Listen to the tape. Listen to the interview of that afterwards. Now back to my point before people try to get me off square. Now, the Ben Davison thing. So he goes with Ben Davison, which I said at the time, him moving from Peter Fury to Ben Davison, it's a guy who's inexperienced, and I'm not sure. When Tyson said he was going to come back, he said he was going to have easy fight. He wanted easy fights. I said, and that was around the same time there was talk about Tyson beside Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren. Listen to my words and remember my words. I said, I hope and I pray that Tyson Fury doesn't get 2 fights and rush into a world title fight at the end of the year. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen, and he's allowed. He needs to prepare fighting for a world title mid to end of 2019, next year. I said that. I said he needs the time to prepare himself properly to come back in 2019. These are the words. I said, I hope this does not happen. Now, watch this. You may all think that this fight isn't going to happen, right? I think this fight is going to happen. And I think it all comes down to money. Money, and look, watch this. Just watch this for a second. If Frank Warren pulls off the fight between, if Fury and Wilder is made, that has huge implications for me, I think, in terms of the fight you could potentially have seen to the fight you're going to see. The fight you potentially could see is a guy that's had 4 or 5 fights and got himself ready to prepare to fight for a world title. Even Tyson Fury, the Fury that fought Klitschko, even that Fury that got in the ring and was looking at Wilder was in for a hard night. This version of Fury that's talking about not wanting to lose so much weight, wanting to have easy fights, fighting Pianetta as a warm-up for Wilder. Now, we've been here before. I've told you all, I tried to explain to you about warm-up fights. I'm going to go back as to why I think this fight's going to happen. Back to warm-up fights. You don't use Pianetta to prepare for Wilder. I'm sorry. You probably, if you're going to use length and punching power, you're more likely going to use David Price. Tall, long, Dominic Brazil for sparring. David Price for preparation. Dominic Brazil. Those are the type of guys you'll be fighting to prepare for Deontay Wilder. If you're serious. If you remember when Lennox Lewis was on his march to fighting Mike Tyson, who did Lennox Lewis fight? He wouldn't have fought guys like Lionel Butler and Ray Mercer. Guys who were short and squat and came forward at Lennox so he could prepare for Mike Tyson. You do not prepare for a guy like Pianetta who fights nothing like Deontay Wilder. I'm not suggesting for 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies listen as well, I'm not suggesting for 1 second that Pianetta is Deontay Wilder, right? And I'm not suggesting that Ray Mercer is Mike Tyson. What I'm saying is you find guys that are similar to your style, similar to what you're going to face. When Luis Ortiz fought Daniel Martz, and I said to you all, Luis Ortiz was out for about a year, and he went to fight Daniel Martz. I said to you, Daniel Martz is no preparation for Deontay Wilder. And I don't care what you tell me about what Tyson Fury did against Klitschko. When Klitschko throws a punch at you, unless he knows for sure he's got you out on his feet, he throws a right hand like that, and he's running out the back door when he's throwing a right hand. When Wilder throws a punch, it's all or nothing. He's fully invested. Say what you want about him being wild. Say what you want about he can't box. Say what you want. This guy is merciless. Okay, you need to have your legs. You need to be sharp. And Pianetta does not get you prepared for it. So basically, if you think about Pianetta and what's this other guy's name? The Safa Safiri, the 2 fights Tyson would have You cannot say that Safa Seferi and Pina prepares you to fight Deontay Wilder. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't. You know, and you need timing. This fight goes a long distance. You know, inactivity, it doesn't matter who you are in boxing. Inactivity affects us all. It does. Now, why I think this fight happens, I've talked about it before. I've heard, I don't know how true these stories are, but there's stories along the circuit going around. This is a cash out fight. I'm hearing these stories. Now, here are some things for if it doesn't go right for Tyson, what can be said. You know, the inactivity did hurt me. And, you know, I'm a fighting man and I gave it my best shot. That's all you can do. Deontay Wilder's the better man. But at the end of the day, I came off to America to give it my best shot. I'm not a pussy. I came to fight Wilder. I gave it my best shot. And I did what Joshua didn't do. Those are all the lines you're going to get if the Fury thing, if the gamble doesn't pay off. If the gamble doesn't pay off, and they'll say, well, you know what? It wasn't the best of me on the night. I needed more time to prepare. Those are the sort of excuses you're going to get. So I hope you boxing fans, you Fury fans, if this goes pear-shaped, right, you are ready to listen to those excuses that are being lined up. And they're not excuses. They're just what you get. And if you're just waiting and being a little bit more patient and waiting to 2019, where you had a guy that was fully prepared, you knew that Warren and Wilder can make the fight happen. You know it can happen. I know it. I believe it can happen. Right? But the fact that this fight is happening, is going to happen, you've got to ask yourself the question why Warren isn't involved with Box Nation and what's going on in the BT deal. And if the BT deal isn't as secure as it should be, then maybe this investment they've made in Tyson has to be recouped one way or the other. And the way to recoup it is to take a big money fight against Wilder. You're not going to get the Joshua fight. So what's the next biggest fight? Deontay Wilder. Absolutely pointless. It's an absolutely pointless fight. It's absolutely pointless fight. I mean, in the sense, it's a pointless fight. But those people who want to see this fight, and I'm going to do a separate video about this, those people want to see the fight, you're not going to get to see the fight that you want. How possibly could you see the fight that you want? A guy that has fought these bays. So when we use the explanation about David Haye, and I said David Haye's last best fight was in 2012 against Chisora, going into the Bellew fight, I thought, well, because of the punching power of David Haye, he might be able to knock Bellew over. But I didn't know the man was on one leg. We now have a situation there with Fury. He's been out of the ring for so long. He's coming back now. And yes, he's getting himself into shape. The first camp was to get himself into shape. So this fight's, as far as I'm concerned, his first real comeback fight. So, I don't know. I do think this fight's going to happen. I do think the fight's going to happen. I don't think it's possible. I don't think the fight's going to happen. I do think the fight's going to happen. Wilder wants it. Tyson wants it. They both get on well. And what I'm hearing around the circuit, the BT deal isn't. There's some problems with the BT deal. And Frank just can't compete with Matchroom. That's what I'm hearing. Evidently, you can see that. You know, why isn't Billy Jones Saunders now going to fight against Andrade? Fight might happen. There's it's two guys who are both, if you look at them, quite almost identical. Saunders and Fury have one thing in common. They're both dining out on big fights. Saunders is dining out on the fact that he beat Lemieux, and Fury's dining out on the fact that he beat Klitschko. And they both have been relatively inactive. Saunders is now entering a fight that he could get his ass whooped in against Andrade. And Fury is walking into a fight now that it's uncertain what's going to happen with him. You know? So these are things that I'm looking at, and I'm thinking to myself, those are Frank's two of Frank's best fighters being put in fights now, dangerous fights. You just wonder what's going on. You just wonder what is going on. So, if you're talking about him making Wilder look silly, I just, you can make Wilder look silly as much as you want. The question is, when, not if, when that right hand connects, and it will connect. Believe you me, that right hand will connect. Have you seen anybody fight Deontay Wilder and that right hand not connect? Look, that right hand will connect, and it's just a matter of Cunningham hit Fury and he went down. Nevin Pike hit Fury and he went down. It's not like Fury's never been down before. Just imagine Deontay Wilder will be the biggest puncher that Fury's fought in his whole career. We never knew what would have happened had he fought David Price. But we know for certain, and don't bring up the Klitschko thing. Please don't bring up the Klitschko thing. Because there's no way that Klitschko hits with the same force as Deontay Wilder. No way. Their punching technique's so different. One is about not getting hit. The other guy's about don't care getting hit. I'm going to take you out. Two different types of punches. So, you know that and two different mentalities. One guy's scared of getting knocked out, and the other guy's mentality is about putting a body bag in you. That is what his own words are. And you've seen what he's done. It's not like it's not hidden. It's all out on Front Street, And Paul Lewis Ortiz, you saw what happened to him, which I said to you on what was going to happen to Lewis Ortiz. And if Fury's legs are not there, you keep Fury fans are stuck on the Klitschko fight. Count back and track back how many years that fight was. Right? Do you think Hughie would have a better chance against Wilder? Well, Hughie's been more active, so that's one thing. He's more active and keeps his body in shape. I think Hughie does a number on Pulev. We'll talk about that afterwards. But I think Hughie does a number on Pulev. Actually does a number on Pulev. And then, can you call in? Not quite, Jamie. I haven't set up. Can I Skype call, mate? Not quite, Framey. Not tonight. Sorry, mate. Well, I'll set up a situation up where I can do a call in, but not yet. Wilder also has a fitness of a lightweight. He's insanely athletic. See, and Wilder's not stupid. I can get just check this out. I can get linear heavyweight champion of the world. Then all I have to do is beat Anthony Joshua. Because if I beat Fury and I beat Joshua, I'm done. I've beaten the best guys in my era. Joshua and Fury. I didn't fight Klitschko, but then Fury did that. So Fury and Joshua. Klitschko retired. Fury and Joshua. That's it. You just and if people believe that Tyson's going to be allowed to fiddle around against Wilder, I mean, you must be off your rockers. Wilder's going to make Fury fight, and that one of them right hands, if he just feels the breath, just one of them right hands go whizzing past, he's going to make him fight. So you've got styles make fights, and I just don't see. I don't care how much weight Fury loses. You lose all that weight. It's got to take something out of you as a fighter, and I don't know how he's been looking after his body. And if Fury's going along with this story of, well, I'm going to go and fight Wilder, well, I don't think it's a smart move. And it's a gamble. Then, look, you pay for it at elite level. I kind of warned you guys about the Kovalev situation before it happened, and you saw Kovalev just fall apart right in front of your eyes. You can't do these things. You've seen Ricky Hatton, you've seen Kovalev, you've seen guys that blow up and down in weight. That stuff takes it out of you, and Fury will never be the same fighter. He will never be the same fighter that fought against Klitschko. Never, ever. No matter what he tells you, no matter what Ben Davison tells you, because you've got two different trainers. And you don't even know how good the trainer is until you're in a crisis. But what a moment to be in. You're in a crisis in America against Deontay Wilder, and you've got an inexperienced trainer in your corner. What a crisis. What a time to have a crisis. You have a crisis and you've got an inexperienced trainer in your corner. And this is not disrespectful to Ben Davison. It is what it is. Who's setting the game plan up? Who's putting the game plan together? I'm sorry, but it's not good. What train? There's only one trainer for me. The man who's going to put the man that understands his mindset and his uncle. Some fighters, Fury may enjoy it because he's got more room to do what he wants and he can enjoy himself more and smile, and yeah, he can do all that stuff now. When Pete wouldn't allow him to do that, that's clear, you know. I'm sorry. And when that right hand lands, right, then you'll know. And with punch resistance, that's another thing. What is Fury's punch resistance now like in 2018? Nobody knows. You don't know how much Fury's got left. And you might not even know what Fury's got left until he fights somebody decent. We may fight against Pianetta. And if Pianetta gives him a harder fight than expected, that's another story. Will they then yank back and pull back? It says, hope you're definitely, nope, you're definitely out of sync, bro. Could you see a situation where Tyson Peter? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That would have been a trainer behind Fury. It'd have to be a trainer that Fury respects. You can't just give Fury a trainer. You gotta understand the psychology of a guy like Fury. You gotta have a trainer that he respects. He respected him and understood. So you have to find Adam Booth. Really? Really? And the other thing is, Tyson maybe in the gym now. He's talking all stuff. Obviously, I said this before. How much do you think Tyson knows how much his body's got left in his body for sure? I don't care how much sparring you do. When he's in the ring and he's fighting against Wilder, it's a totally different situation. I'm telling you. Personally, I think it's a good move. Take the risk, beat Wilder, then he'll be in place to demand 50-50. You think it's as easy as that? You think it's as easy as just step over to the States and beat Wilder? Oh dear. I don't know about that. Lions. Fury and Wilder is the fight we're waiting for. Hearn desperate to derail this. Yeah, he might be. I hope the fight. I in two ways. I hope the fight happens, and I hope the fight doesn't happen. I hope the fight happens for Frank Warren, and just it would be great for Frank to have some sort of to level the playing field out, and also it would be for Fury's part. I mean, look, if Fury turns around and he beats Wilder, let me tell you something, that will go down for me as one of the greatest heavyweight comebacks. You've got to put that down. Listen, if he beats Wilder, that is one of the greatest heavyweight comebacks. I think it's one of the greatest heavyweight comebacks. I'll tell you why. Because if you look at what Fury's been from Klitschko to who he's fought and then beat Wilder, technically, Wilder may not be great. Let me say something. He lays that left jab pretty nicely, and he gets that right hand down the pipe. And all it takes is one right hand. And when that right hand lands, it's not a matter of if, it's when it lands. And the minute Wilder senses that Fury's legs buckle, it's a wrap. As soon as that lands, and he sees Fury's legs go, he's on him, on him, on him. And I don't know. Fury's best way of beating Deontay Wilder actually is to do exactly what the same strategy Lennox Lewis did against Michael Grant. He's got to fight Deontay the same way. To beat Deontay Wilder, you've got to take the fight to Wilder. You've got to use the jab. You've got to double the jab up with Wilder, push him to the ropes, and get on the inside against Wilder and stay close. Don't allow Wilder any range. So where Wilder's got that lot, for me, if I'm putting strategy together, that long jab, you've got to stop that jab from that's where he lines up with the jab. And you've got to stop him from throwing. You've got to make him feel uncomfortable throwing that right hand. So either you're coming across with your left hook, you're doubling up your jab, but you don't stand right in front of Deontay Wilder. You keep changing the angles, which means Tyson's going to need his feet. He's got to come out straight away, bang, bang, double jab in Deontay's face because he can't block a jab. And when he's moving backwards, he's vulnerable. His hands are down by the side. You've got to capitalize on those bad habits Wilder has got. Can't block a jab. Double up the jab. And not to feint. When you try to shoot the right hand and go off balance, countering with left hooks, slip out the way. You know what I mean? Constantly switching from orthodox to southpaw. He's got to switch it up, Tyson. And he's got to be moving quick. But he mustn't allow Deontay to set that jab and right hand up, bow and arrow style. Got to keep out of the way of that. So we straight on the line with as soon as you line straight on the line with Wilder, you're in trouble. So you've got to be laterally. You've got to do not pull back in straight lines. You've got to slip to the sides, double jab and slip to the side. Double jab, like how Floyd used to do it. Where you jab you and you slip under and around you, so you're not there to be hit with the right hand. Take the right hand away from Deontay Wilder. Bring your left hook into play. Fury's going to have to throw lots of left hooks. He's going to use double and triple up the jab. He's got to take the fight on the inside. He's got to take the fight to Wilder. If Fury decides to step off the back foot against Wilder, he's getting knocked out clean within 6. Clean. He's got to stay close range for Fury. Fury has. If Fury decides to come at distance for Wilder, then he's got leverage to fight that right hand. And the percentages of Fury getting knocked out against Wilder, they're pretty high looking at that knockout record. Okay, so closer. If it gets closer, it get close. That's what you've got to do. And people saying this fight going the distance. The longer this fight goes, the better it suits Deontay Wilder, not Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury's last time went the distance. Last time Fury went the distance was 2000 and whenever it was when he beat Klitschko. Yeah, Wilder's got underrated jab and hook. I appreciate that, but he's got very poor defense. And whereas Ortiz couldn't capitalize. If you go back and look at the fight where Wilder fought Gerald Washington kind of showed the idea. Washington was able to use the jab on Deontay Wilder. But as I said, if you go back and look at my prediction fight, Wilder versus Washington, I said, well, Washington may be ahead in this fight. But what Washington does after about 4 rounds, he runs out of gas, he starts backing up against the ropes. And when he backs up to the ropes, distance, left jab, right hand down the pipe. You give Deontay Wilder any distance like that to get that distance on him, he's knocking you out. And you can say what you want about Deontay Wilder being wild. The man knows how to set up a shot. He knows how to set up a jab and a right hand. He knows how to set that 1-2 up. And he knows how to do it and knock you down and knock you out. So say what you want about him being wild and all that stuff. Understand that 1-2. that kind of, and if you can't see as a boxing fan how dangerous that right hand is, I mean, you need to go to Specsavers, look at the Lajkovic thing, look at what happened to Stavern, look what happened to Ortiz, look what happened to Svilka. I mean, that's some serious power there. So you can't be kissing people in the ring and hugging them and smiling at them and all that crap. Wilder ain't doing this stuff. Wilder's serious business. Wilder is serious business. No evens. Listen, it's straight up Wilder by KO. Fury will have to lean his legs. He'll need to be as good as he was against Klitschko and then some. So he's been the Klitschko sort of condition and then some with a strategy. He will get baptized. Listen, Wilder is going to be performing a lay in a hand ceremony on Fury if he doesn't get his legs moving. He's the key to this fight is Fury's jab, the unorthodoxy, and also not staying on this line. Those are the keys. But if the Tyson that fought Seferi fought Deontay Wilder 3 to 4 rounds maximum. So you all want to keep saying that Wilder's this crazy fast fighter and all this stuff. Carry on. When he puts a right hand right through Fury, I want to hear what people are going to say then, because it will land. And that's the problem. It's just a matter of what Fury has to do is negate that by his footwork. He's got to negate that by able to slip the right hand, see the right hand coming. And there are only a few heavyweights in the world who I think could give Fury a chance at helping him prepare. And really, he should have, the two guys I would have had him fight if he was serious about fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship, was to fight either David Price or Dominic Brazil. One of them two guys. And it depends if you think that Luis Ortiz is a better puncher than Tyson Fury. And, you know, you have to ask yourself the question, well, you know, Tyson can say he's a fighting man, he's this and that. This is the other guy who's going to emulate Muhammad Ali's record, okay? So, and from what my record, I could be wrong, but no, I won't say that. I'll hold that up. That Seferi fight was a fast, but let's be honest, Tyson could have stopped it at any time. Well, if he could have stopped it any time, why didn't he? I disagree with you there. I strongly disagree with you there. His timing looked out. He did not look sharp at all. And to me, he could not stop Seth. If he could have stopped Seth, do you think Tyson Fury, will you want Seferi retiring on his stool? And the question is, did he retire on his stool of his own accord? Or did he retire on his stool because Frank Warren called it off? Because to me, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. He did not look at any point like he was going to stop Seferi. So I don't know where the idea came from that Tyson was going to stop Seferi. At no point, when Tyson actually put it up, hell of a dangerous tune-up. Listen, Lennox Lewis wanted to fight Ray Mercer, fought Tommy Morrison. He wanted to fight Tyson. Right? He went for Tommy Morrison and he fought Ray Mercer. Lionel Butler. Right? Those are 3 guys he fought. You know, 3 dangerous guys he fought because he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship. He wanted to fight Mike Tyson. You forget when Lennox was chasing Tyson down, what he did. And that's how it was old school. When you're going to fight, you knew you were going to fight a certain type of guy or a certain type of style. You prepare yourself to fight that guy by getting guys that are similar to that style to beat them. That's what happens. You know what I mean? So, all you people that want this fight to happen now are just for entertainment's sake. But like I said, my next video I'm going to talk about entertainment value versus business sense. And I think it's important that I talk about it. But yeah, love to know what you think, your comments. Let me hear what people are saying here, because I've got lots of people commenting here. Yes, Les Cairo. Big up. Come on, why have they fell out, dude? Tyson is uncle. What's the inside info? Okay, let's put it this way. One, if I did have inside info, it's not my business. As far as I'm concerned, the two have departed from one another and they're doing their own thing. And I'll still support Tyson what he does. I'll still support Peter what he does. It's none of my business. My name's not Fury, and none of my business. Family business, unless it's out in the open, it's none of my business. I don't ask, and I'm not interested. But you can read between the lines. Peter got that extra percentage. You need to have total respect for your trainer. Can't see that with Davison. I heard there's a rematch clause with Wilder. Okay. Fury's damaged, and without PDs, he doesn't stand a chance. Interesting. I do question Fury's mental state. He constantly contradicts himself. I'm sure it was only a few months ago he said he will fight Joshua Wilder when he's ready, and he won't until 2019 at the earliest. There you go. This is somebody who's contradicting what they're saying all the time. So he's saying this stuff now. God knows what he'll do when he gets to fight Wilder. I fail to see how Wilder won't land in 12 rounds, and when he does, it's lights out like all the other opponents. Guess what Callum Firth is saying? It's a toss-up between Fury points and Wilder KO. Can Wilder KO Fury? 100%. Can Fury outbox Wilder and not take a clean shot? Of course he can. Leon, mate, I love you, brother. There's a bit of fantasy there. Deontay Wilder's not going to hit Tyson Fury in 12 rounds. Listen, you may have got away with that with a Klitschko version of Fury. But even then, Klitschko nailed him. Klitschko nailed him with a straight right hand. And if that right hand, the Klitschko nailed Fury with the right hand. And I want you to look at, I know you all talk about this masterful performance of Fury. Look at the last 2 rounds when Klitschko actually started putting pressure on Fury, how Fury boxed. Don't look at the first 6 or 7 rounds because Klitschko wasn't doing shit. Look at the last 2 to 3 rounds. And then say to yourself, okay, those last 2-3 rounds, then put Wilder in that situation. You see that Fury did land, Klitschko did land more shots. So people see what they want to see sometimes. So I spoke about the game plan there. Wilder finds a way to win. That stuff can't be taught. Same as Fury. They both find ways to win. I don't think you handed Deontay's power. I don't think Fury will have the fitness for 12 rounds. You can be winning on points and Wilder will knock you out. Smooth. Yeah, exactly. The longer it goes, the less like it happens in 2018, which is in Fury's favor. If it happens in 2019, I wouldn't put it past Fury to win. There you go. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. Fury on inside could swap strength with Wilder in any clinch. That's where he's got to be up close against Wilder if he's going to beat Wilder. For Wilder, just do what you do, brother. But for Fury, he's got to get close. Stop Wilder. Listen. But you have to be careful when you're getting close. Don't just rush in. Just remember what happened to Spilker. He came rushing in. And you saw what happened to Spilker. Skybet has Tyson 8-11 and Wilder 1-1. Oh, shoot. Wow. Listening to Davison in depth would be interesting. Seems shy in camera and maybe doesn't express himself the best, but doesn't mean he does very knowledgeable. Well, you keep your belief in that way of thinking. Maybe he isn't that knowledgeable. Maybe he is that knowledgeable. 25 years old. I think you're really asking. 25 years old. Listen, I'm 42 now, and the stuff I knew as a coach when I was 25, no way did I know what I knew now as a coach. No way. In life, when you were 25, and if you're 50 now and you're 25, there's no way the stuff you knew knowledgeable wise and experience. And when you're 25, 26, the way you soak up knowledge is different to where there's a different appreciation of it as you're older. So I'm not so sure about that. Wilder is a smart fighter, very smart. He's not eye candy in the ring, but but I say he finds ways to win. Look at Ortiz and Spilker. There you go. Let the baptism fire happen. Begin. Price would have been an excellent tune-up, personally. I think so too. Who says that? Moyos says, brother Ingram, I like your content. Brother, from one brother to another, I salute you. M. Reynolds says, if they both want to fight, let it happen. No more marinating fights. You see, I'm going to talk about marinating fights in a moment. Ingram, are you going to do a video on? I will do a video on Arsenal for real. I'll do a video on Arsenal. While they're waiting on Ortiz while losing rounds, and after he got buzzed, made Ortiz overcommit when he thought Wilder was almost done, fell for the trap. Wilder was up on the cards in the Ortiz fight. Fury win by KO. Wilder ties mid-fight and swings mid-mills. Fury sidesteps, uppercut, lights out. You forget Wilder is not Klitschko, and you forget Wilder's the biggest puncher that Fury would have fought his whole career. He's going to do what Ortiz couldn't do. Okay, I'd like to see it. Fury's the bigger man with the longer reach. Fury could fight southpaw and take Wilder's right hand away. Ortiz wanted to trade with him. Fury won. Stop. Two different types of fighters. Fury took the right hand away of a fighter in Derek Chisora, who's shorter. Derek Chisora fires a looping right hand. Wilder throws a straight right hand, if you haven't noticed. One time Wilder loops right hand is when he got you on when he's got you out of there. Straight right hand, straight down the pipe. Boom. I'll make my decision after I see Fury fight next. Well, are you telling me that the Pianetta fight is a competitive fight? If Pianetta becomes a competitive fight, you Fury fans need to be getting worried. And when I say you Fury fans, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible here. The last fight Deontay Wilder had was Luis Ortiz. The last fight Tyson Fury fought was Pianetta, who got knocked out by Kevin Johnson, who's now fighting Danny Dubois. Well, let's keep it moving. Speaking of marinating, the Joshua Wilder back and forth got boring about after week. Ingram, can I get your thoughts on LDBC and the hate bullshit going on in the YT boxing community? It's almost toxic, in my opinion. I think that people start communities. I started what I do with BWTM because there either isn't a voice, an opportunity, rejection, or misinterpretation, miscommunication, no justice, people not being treated equally. These are the reasons why people decide to go and do their own thing. And the fact that they've gone and done their own thing, I've got no problem with it. Personally, I think I've had people from the members of the LDBC on the channel before. People that I used to watch before I even started this. So if you're looking for me to say something controversial here, I'm not. I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And LDBC is made up of many characters, not just one person. So I think you have to listen to. There's a lot of things you have to understand. I think my understanding has changed so much being married to a woman from America, a black woman from America, and a very very public figure in America, one who's hosted very, very, very high level members of the public. And so, it's very different, the mentality in America to the mentality in the UK. And I'd say a lot, particularly in the black community, I think in America, they're a lot more clued up in terms of awareness of self, and the way we in the UK may accept certain things, it's not so acceptable, okay, in the US. So I think there's cultural differences, and I think the only way that toxic that you call is when there's a conversation, an open conversation that's had, where the LDBC community are able to speak, not scream and shout, but to speak and not explain themselves, because I don't think they need to explain themselves. But I think there are some people within the YouTube community on a whole which are not helpful. They are divide and conquer. They are paid trolls. Some are paid for by promoters. Fact. And so, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of racism and racist stuff. I had a whole heap of crap coming through my inbox. I just block the people now. I just don't tolerate it no more. So, I have nothing negative to say whatsoever, to be honest. They're doing what they're doing, and they're welcome to come on the channel and say what they have to say. Speak your piece. I can't now start. I can't. I censor people that I can't see. This is something different. People I can't see keyboard wise, I censor them. But people that come on the actual channel, that you can see their face or you can hear what they've got to say, or I know them on a personal level, that's different. They say what they've got to say. And this channel is about people speaking their truth. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, it could be quite toxic, depending on what side of the fence you're on and why you think it's toxic. So that's my opinion on the LDBC. Personally, good luck to them. I hope that they achieve the goals that need to achieve, and I hope that and when I say they, I speak because there's so many people in the community now. I don't know who expects some on a general basis. I think it's not. I can't. I'm a black man, and if you haven't really gathered that, and so there is no me and them. There's not me and them. It's just one collective. So a lot of the points they're probably fighting for, the same points I'm probably fighting for, but just going about it in a alternative manner. So there. But you're not going to catch me sitting on this channel and pointing the finger and being toxic. If anything, I'd want to bring people on the channel and talk about why the movement started and what the purpose of the movement is, so people can understand. So there's obviously been some hurt. There's been some disrespect. There's been some stuff that's been going on historically, that's been going on for years. It's not been cool. I had a couple of those idiots on my channel. One in particular that I just blocked because he was an absolute idiot. And so, at the end of the day, I think that people while they're on YouTube, people are entitled to have their opinion. And if they say things that are not cool, there's a consequence. And if they say things that are bang out of order, the channel gets shut down. What more do you want me to say? That's about it, really. Wilder said something about Instagram going to cruiserweight after unifying. What do you think? No, he's not going to go to cruiserweight. Forget that. No, he's not going to cruiserweight. Fighting on the inside for Fury gives away his reach and size. No, he doesn't want to fight a reach. No. You're going to take away. You take it. This game's a percentage game. You do not give the guy that's the biggest puncher pound for pound in the world a chance. So the minute you're on the outside, you allow him to bow and arrow you. Once you got up close, you take that bow and arrow away. Lennox Lewis and Michael Grant. Go back and look at that fight. Why didn't Lennox Lewis box in the outside and use the jab? Because he knew if he was on the end of the right hand of Michael Grant, he was going to be on the canvas. Got to box. You got to come up close. Cannot allow to stay at the distance. You might be able to keep him off for a while doing that stuff, but eventually Wilder's going to close the gap, and then the right hand's going to land. I can see the right hand coming. That's all over Wilder versus AJ Wars. That's when that fight happened. People will move on. I don't know if people will move on. You know, my friend AJ Errol. I think ultimately, in the day, it's not about that, because there were wars going on with Mayweather and Pacquiao. Remember those wars? It's just going to be another war. All right, you'll have that war between Fury and Wilder. It'll come. It'll happen. I'll tell you why it'll happen. Because there are people in there that these are the people that divide and conquer. That won't say they're two of the best boxers in the world fighting. No, the report is a black man and a white man fighting. Divide and conquer. Yeah, I see two fighters. I don't see, well, a white man's boxing tonight and a black man's fighting tonight. And I hope the black man beat a white. No, the two fighters fighting the back, and I hope the best man wins. And I want the best version of both guys fighting. But personally, that's why I don't want this fight to happen now. But big up to EJ though. Leon Campton says, exactly, Ingram, you said it. Tyson knows what his body has left. Do you honestly think he would rush into it and ruin if he didn't think he could do it? I don't think he would. Yeah, I think he would. Because this is the same guy that said he was going to emulate Muhammad Ali's record and have 20 defenses like Joe Louis and beat Joe Louis' record. And then he comes back and fights Safa Seferi. Yes, this is the guy that turned around and told me loyalty means everything. And on an interview, told me loyalty was everything. And Mick Hennessy, he'd never leave Mick Hennessy. He's left Mick Hennessy now with Frank Warren. So, yes, I do believe it would happen. I noticed a lot of UK boxing channels are very pro-Matchroom. Wonder if there's an arrangement. You're a funny man, Adam. You're a funny man. Wilder and Fury make 30 million. Truth be known, USA pay-per-view, UK pay-per-view. Yep. LDBC giving a voice of support for Wilder and platform, because it's clear from an American standpoint, Wilder is getting the Floyd Mayweather treatment from the old media. That's another thing. Yes, I understand that. I believe that. I think the way the LDBC and I think Wilder and the LDBC should work together more. I think that Wilder should do more interviews with LDBC if he feels that he's been mishandled and misrepresented, mistreated. Wilder said, you know what, heck to you, press people. You'd give me a bad rap anyway, and just talk to the LDBC community. That's how I'd have it. But hey, yeah, Ingram, there's a lot of channels now appearing to be anti-Matchroom just because they think it's cool. I could tell you some stories. Stars-wise, Wilder definitely the harder fight. It's a cash out. Why not make the Joshua fight for more money? Too many dynamics there. You've got Fury versus Wilder. Both guys get on. Both guys get on. Wilder's camp and Wilder's camp and Fury's camp get on. So Joshua. Thanks for the insight. There are some very intelligent people in LDBC. Good analysis, Ingram. Absolutely. There's some fantastic people in LDBC. People that I would be more than happy to have, would love to bring on the journey with me on BWTM. So, yeah, definitely. Thanks for the insight. Some very okay to say it. What's the LDBC? Somebody explain. Lions Den boxing community, I think. Good evening. Great content as always, Ingram. Big up. Yep. I mean, I have to say it as it is. I've got to say it as it is. I can't sit here and pussyfoot around and not talk to you about things. So look, this video's gone on way too long because this wasn't the video that I was going to talk about. There's other things that he talked about. Some huge announcements to talk about. So yeah. Tickets, VIP, and food. It's a racist boxing channel. See, this is what I'm talking about. The Cobra UK, aren't you Cobra UK? Aren't you the same man that came on here man or woman came on here about 15 minutes ago asking me to reveal everything about Peter Fury and Tyson Fury and their family life. And now you are I was just talking about people divide and conquer. Now you've said it's a racist boxing channel. Really? Racist? Okay. Watch one video for 10 minutes and they were saying some stupid stuff. I had to switch it off. Yeah, well, okay. I think I don't know. You've come on here and you're asking me to talk about people's private life. I mean, to be pointing the finger and calling people a racist channel. Well, I didn't think LDBC was a racist channel. I thought it was a community. So you're saying everybody in that community is a racist. Well, I wouldn't agree with that one bit. So I think that's a bit of propaganda there, a bit of fake news. And Mr. Cobra, I have to look at you in a funny way now because you've just said that LDBC is a racist channel, which is not. It's a community. It doesn't represent one channel. So what the hell is wonder what Staverne's view on the fight is. Reckon he'd have a cracking insight. They call Joshua. Okay, but you've got to understand something. You are not. This is not from the UK. This is American perspective. If you've lived in the UK all your life, you never travelled, you never interacted with people of color in America. If you just watch things on TV, then your perspective can be very very narrow. So my suggestion is that you kind of understand where they're coming from in America, all right, and their perspective. Years ago, I probably wouldn't have been as tolerant as I am now, but I've got more understanding for it now, and it's cultural as well. It's cultural, I think. So I think it's very difficult for me to walk in your shoes or for you to walk in my shoes. And to walk in my shoes is one thing. There's lots to talk about, but I'm not going to go into it now. Racist channel is a strong allegation. Let's talk about boxing. F family life. I totally agree with you there. Well, I watched the one labeled that. Yeah, but you got to understand what the context is and why they're saying it. Okay? Let me break it down for you. If you want an understanding of something, if you want to get a little insight, let me educate you all. The American public are seeing, or the black community are seeing, somebody like Anthony Joshua, and they're looking at somebody who looks like themselves, and they're seeing certain behaviors that if seen in America and done in America is called a certain thing. So the reference that people in America are making to Anthony Joshua are based on mainly their experiences in America and how they would perceive that Joshua would be called that way if he was in America. And if it's an American channel saying it from that perspective, then fine. I understand what they're saying. Am I saying it's right? Am I saying it's wrong? Neither. Not my business. I didn't say it. Remember, BWTM is an American platform, so although I'm heading it or the face of it at the moment, it's US based, so I can't. You just have to understand where they take a moment to understand where these people are coming from. When we start saying things like people are racist and just doing that, we don't give people we shut people down. That's in ignorance. We just shut people up. You're racist. You're not listening to what they've got to say and understanding why they're saying what they're saying. What's the reason behind that? Why are you saying what you're saying? What's led you up to that point of saying those things? And then they'll give you an example. Look, this in America, this is the way these things are. So these things may be more offensive to somebody in England and not offensive to somebody in America. Okay? So it's just things we need to think about for a minute. Has anyone ever emailed Matchroom boxing and had a response? Got to laugh. You're right, Ingram. Racial relations are way different in the US to UK. I've been to both countries and they weren't comparable. Look, I'm not. They're not. You know, you've got things in America like civil rights movement, people like Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, and you know, the people like there's so many people that fought for rights in black people that fought for rights in America, and so many things they've got there that they just don't have in the UK. And if it was set up like the US in the UK, people would be talking and having different conversations, and things would be different. I just being honest, people in America generally, black people in America are far more clued up than they are in the UK, and that's a big statement to make. But having been in the UK for so long and then going to America and then being around that culture, it's I feel more comfortable, to be honest. I feel more comfortable talking to guys in the States that I do in the UK. I just find very much the English culture, and I say that widely speaking, not by color, but by culturally, it's very two-faced. Look you in your face and say one thing, but on the lane say something else. Smile in your face and stab you in your front, that sort of stuff. So that's my personal opinion. That's how I see things. So I'm not saying everybody's like that, but that's just how it is. Do you try to understand the context around everything you think is racist, Ingram? I take the time to listen to what people have got to say, Ruben. And I take the time to listen to what people got to say. You've got to. Well, I've got to anyway. I listen to what people got to say. As a coach, naturally, you're listening to what a person has to say. This is not working for me. Well, why is it not working for you? And you break it down and you get to a point. You break it down to its most funny point, because ultimately, all this is just down to energy. You can talk of what you want about what it is. It all comes down to energy. That's what it is. That's what it is. You've got to find out what it is. If you want to be able to be, some people can't social. Some people haven't got social skills. Some people's best way of socializing is via this keyboard. But anyway, the most powerful thing a man carries with him is the idea of himself. If Tyson carries that underdog mentality into the ring, he beats them all. Too much for any of them. Matchroom fanboys are giving Brits a bad name. I seldom hear from articulate, reasonable Brits on boxing comment sections. Unfortunately, inappropriate behavior cannot be tolerated regardless. Inappropriate. Well, what's inappropriate? Who's given the guidance of what's appropriate and what's inappropriate? I mean, but the LDBC calling AJ, I think, is really pathetic. Is it? Is it? It's a community thing. If listen, it's a community thing. I don't know if it's pathetic. I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying it's like listen, AJ's got off lightly. AJ's got off lightly. If you remember back in the day, what many people in the UK used to call Frank Bruno. All right, let's not go there. But how big is the fight Wilder v Fury is if AJ and the AJ fight? I don't know. How about make America great again, racist in the south of the USA? Well, what about that? There you go. We could go on all day about it. I'm going to come off this topic now because we could be all day long. But in the US and in the US, fans and media back fighters because of their skin color. This is very true, Hamza. That's what started the whole LDBC movement. In the UK, fans and media back fighters because of the location. This is very true. This is very true. And they're racist, or do we understand context? Well, okay. If you talk to some people, they will tell you that they're not racist because they don't have the power to make change. The real racists are the people that can have change. The people that can change how much money you earn, to the class you live, the sort of class and lifestyle you live, to the laws, to the they would call those people racist because they actually have the power to change things. Okay, they've got the money to change things. So often people that you would refer to as racist don't see themselves as racist because they don't see themselves having that sort of money and that sort of power to be able to affect change in that sense, and they won't see themselves racist. If you talk to some people, it's not racism in my opinion. They look at Hearn similar to Don King with Tyson. AJ can't speak for himself. Hearn has a gag on him, in my opinion, says Ronnie Emerson. Well, there you go. See, that's what people are seeing. That's perception people are seeing. He can always get Price and others down from behind the scenes, closed doors fight for the camp. No, mate, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't prepare you for a world fight because it doesn't work that way. Low LNL profits preach. Bro, I'm not feeling them American LDBC guys. A lot of them are ignorant. Well, if you take that approach, if you take that approach and say a lot of them LDBC guys are ignorant, you've got to ask you just stop a second and think, okay, I've just called a whole group of people ignorant, but aren't you just as ignorant calling them ignorant? Just a point, because if you're sitting around calling somebody ignorant, isn't there an element of ignorance about you? I can't get around that. I mean, have you sat down and talked to these people at length and had a conversation about them outside of just the boxing community, which we all say stupid things. I've said some stupid things in boxing and heated conversations. That's just passion. But these people, day-to-day lives, have got wives and children and girlfriends and family, like you and I. That's why there's tension, because we're not looking. You look at these people saying, he said something in the heat of the moment. That's him. It's boxing. We're passionate. I've said stupid things. I've said some real ignorant things, but in the heat of a moment. And there's some ignorant people in here that come on talk some crap, but I shouldn't be defined because I've made some statements. Because I'm passionate about fighting. Wilder can bang, not a doubt in that, but has he ever fought anyone as slick, awkward, and elusive as Fury? Listen, Fury was slick and elusive, still got nailed by Klitschko. Elusive means you don't get hit. Mayweather is elusive. If you want to talk about elusiveness, Mayweather was elusive. That's elusive. Mac the Knife. I've looked into it, and civil rights movement and the figureheads you mentioned were all manufactured by and had links to elites. Please don't believe the propaganda history you have been told. That's another conversation. So the civil rights movement never happened. Well, I don't know. We'll have to talk about that. Having hate in your heart is wrong. I find LDBC a positive force. They are celebrating boxing, American boxers. Wilder is 40, and should be better known. I agree with that. No excuse for the LDBC called AJ. Well, see, but the thing is, to even go back and write it down, are you just as bad? You've taken the time to actually type the letters in. It's just as bad. They've said it. You've typed it. Who's better? And then you're coming and telling me about it. You're reporting it to me afterwards. So you know better than them. And what makes it worse? Depending on who you are, typing what you said there, that could be termed as offensive to me. But that sort of power I take, and I just put it to one side and don't take it on. Has Hearn got a gag, or is Joshua just savvy and knows how to make the most of his BUC? Maybe if someone had of gagged Tyson at times, he wouldn't have been out of the ring for so long. Yeah, I said this to Tyson a long time ago, mate. You need a PR. You need people to do your PR. I don't need PR. I said, I don't need PR. I've got my own PR team. I said, you need PR, mate. It'll cost you. Oh, well. Famous last words, eh? What do you think Fury's inside game then can be executed? The plan you described. He uppercutted himself, went on the inside once, but he's improved since then. LOL. And I know you're trying to be funny here, Garguja, but if you look very carefully, Povetkin did the same thing as well. Fury on the inside is good. He's got to get on the inside and rip Wilder to the body, and come upstairs. Take the gas out of Wilder's legs early, and then look to stop Wilder in the second half of the fight. I'm so glad I don't know anything about this movement thing. I just watch boxing and enjoy it. Facts. 2 wrongs don't make a right. I agree. I respect your boxing opinion and knowledge, Ingram, but surely Tyson knows what he has to do to win. Not if you ain't been hit by Deontay Wilder. You can know in your mind what you got to do, but you need to have your body, and you need to have your body right, your mind right, and then you're fighting against the biggest puncher in the division. He's got the skill set to do it. But can he do it? Well, that's another matter altogether. Ortiz had the skill set and the punch to do it. But did he do it? He didn't. Calling anybody that word is stupid, but I feel the same way about the usage of the N-word. I think it's a cultural thing. Being from the Caribbean, referring to people as N-words was unheard of. Totally agree with there, Hamza. Fury can move, but still can be touched. I agree. You know, you can't take that Ali stuff seriously. Stop. It came out of Fury's mouth. And if you're a Fury fan, you'll take that seriously. That's why they're running around talking this garbage. This is the same people that they've got it in their mind. As for Mick and Peter stuff, that's personal and private. I don't have a clue what's going on. I don't care. Understand the context, Ingram. Typing the word is different from using it. Mate, Ruben. Mate, I'm giving you little to no attention tonight. Americans think, and you know why. Americans that think AJ is a ducker, nothing wrong with that. Well, that's exactly what it is. It's not just see what went wrong. I think the Americans or the LDBC community or the Americans at large, I've spoken to a lot of American people, and they have they're laughing at Joshua at the moment. They're laughing at him at the moment because they've seen that video go around about the 50 million. They've seen that video go around. That's what's stuck in their mind. The 50 million video. Whoever did that interview with Joshua and he said about the 50 million, that's etched in people's minds. And they've now seen Joshua go on and fight Povetkin now. That's what's in people's minds. And that means they see that. I'm just telling you, see, coward. That's it. They see this big dude with big muscles, strapping man. And then they've seen Lennox Lewis come over to America and take on all comers. They've seen Frank Bruno come over and fight Mike Tyson. Twice. Big Bruno. They never call him a coward. They've seen Herbie Hyde come over and fight Riddick Bowe. He was never ready for Riddick Bowe, but they respected Herbie for that. They said Ricky Hatton come over. They've seen Prince Nazim Howard come over. They've seen Joe Kazaki come over. They've seen other guys come over. Carl Froch come over. And then this big strappy dude comes over to America after talking this stuff about 50 million. And then not happening for whatever reason. And that is what's etched in a lot of their minds. It's not just Americans who feel that way about AJ asked for 50 million. And when it was offered, rejected. And Matchroom has contradicted themselves about the negotiations. Of course, I feel the same way too, Hamza. I was just talking about LDBC. We can discuss the civil rights stuff later, and I can give you links about it. Please do, Matt the Knife. They can still come here to fight Ingram. They could. We can do. I'd love to see it. Please do show me that stuff. I would be more than interested in it. Really would. I'm definitely want to listen to that stuff. Definitely. But yeah, that's it for now for this particular video. It went on a bit longer regarding Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Some people just don't like to listen to about the political things. But if you're going to ask me those questions, I'm going to answer you then. I'm going to give you my opinion. When I come back, there's a couple more things I'd like to talk about tonight. And the meeting I was meant to have to announce that news for you. I've got some big news I need to announce for you still. So either tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to announce that news to you. And when I announce it, it is huge news. And I'm telling you, BWTM viewers are going to be in for a treat. I'm literally telling you, you're in for a treat. I think Fury Wilder fight will happen. Looking forward to your Arsenal for Gillingham. I will get around to doing it. I've still to come. I want to talk about Anthony Yard, another discussion that has to be had. I want to discuss about Dillian White, and I want to discuss about marinating fights. Where should I put in the post of where should I put the post of links, Ingram? Tell you what, do me a favor. Go onto this channel. Go to the about. You'll see the email. Click on the email there and send me the links there. I'd appreciate it, brother. Take care. No, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than any interview. Why are you so sure? I said it before, I'll say it again. When you're good to people, people are good to you. But from what I've been informed, it's a go-ahead. It's a goer. All right. No, I haven't heard about it, but please let me know. Let me know about the Jermaine Pennant book. Right, I'll be back in about 10, 15 minutes. Not even that, to set up the next show. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm out.